Welcome back to the Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, Franklin Sussex Hyundai Sports Beat. Couple of notes. We're broadcasting you from the world-famous Auto Malls. We do every week. And Mountain Creek Ski Area is now open, folks. Mountain Creek, new ownership, man. They're kicking butt in the area. They're good people. They're a family-owned and operated business now, and we love Mountain Creek, okay? Finally, some good ownership in there, and we're very happy about Mountain Creek. All right, we have Dan Cleary back with us. Dan, going to talk about more boys basketball?
Yeah, we're going to pick up where we left off in the Freedom Division. Matt Ferguson back for his 16th year as a head coach. He was an assistant to Phil Tintle and assistant to Bill Edelman before that. But Matt, you're not going to find a better guy than Matt Ferguson. They're excited about dropping down from the American Division, where they were 0-8 last year, but 9-15 overall. So they're where the teams they should be playing with competitive-wise. Vernon's a Group 2 now. They're not the monster Group 4, the boogeyman everyone was afraid of. They're a solid Group 2 team, and I think playing in the Freedom Division, although the Freedom Division is no cakewalk, it's better suited to Vernon. They have some good kids coming back. Jake Rodriguez, who battles some injuries, he's back, handles the ball, can shoot. Chris Ajamian, very nice player. Brian Moran gives him length in the middle. He's a good athlete and does a nice job rebounding. And then another big kid down there, Jeff Sedlock. He's also a very good lacrosse player. He gives him size down low. Nick Myers also back. They had a couple of transfers come in from Hudson County. One kid from Memorial and another from Bayonne. We'll see how they work into the mix, but they're excited about having them. I mean, they lost some good kids to graduation. Seamus Hughes, Nick Izzo, with Seamus Hughes playing football at the College of New Jersey, Timmy Plock and Cam Sparta. But I think Vernon's where they should be, playing Lenape Valley, playing High Point, playing Hackettstown, playing all those teams and their crossovers against Walkill Valley and other teams. They're playing the teams they should be playing. I think this could be a good year for Vernon basketball. We'll move on to High Point, and Vernon, great tradition over the years. If you watch Channel 10 games of the week, we've kind of matched them up because it's always a good matchup when these two teams go at it. Jesse Strell back for his sixth year. I can't believe it's been 6 years there at High Point, the former High Point player. They went 15-11 last year. Graduated some good players in Brad Smolin and John Nelson, but they got back one of the top players in the area, Jack DeGroot, who was tremendous last year, can handle, can shoot, defends, rebounds. He's coming off a very good boys soccer season as well. John Newman's back, and some of these kids got off the bench and played some. And Tommy Gilmore, who had a good football season, Andrew Martinez, Luke Steinman. I think they're going to be young. The bigs are young. They're going to have to come along, but anyone who knows anything about basketball knows it's a guard game. And when you have a kid like Jack DeGroot, you're in good shape. So High Point, I think, be right there in the mix is the Newton Braves. They came in from the Colonial. They won that last year. They won 19 games last year, 19-5. Dirk Kelly did a great job with that team. You know, they lost some good kids to graduation. A couple of my favorite players watching over the last few years, Andrew Cooney, Samir Wheeler. He had that big basket to beat Sparta, and Pat O'Doherty. Also, Chase Kramer, who was coming off a monster football season. He's also a very good basketball player as well, and baseball player. He's taking the winter off to take some time off to get ready, heal up his body for baseball. So that's a tough loss, too, because Chase was just a tremendous athlete out there. But they got two of the best big kids around. Charlie Maker, who really evolved into a great low-post player last year at forward. Jason Heater, he's going to play at St. Michael's in Vermont. Luke Young, the quarterback from the football team, he's going to run the show at guard. Colin Kelly also gives them length. Jake Tarabakian can shoot the ball. And they got some good athletes coming off the bench. Will Larson, great football player. Kevin Ioso from soccer. Dante North from football. This is going to be a good Newton team. And if they buy into the system, according to Coach Dirk Kelly, this could be a special year. And they, you know, back when Newton was in the Freedom Division, before they broke it into 7 divisions, the end, Jack, Hackettstown Newton was worth the price of admission, or twice the price of admission, when those two schools would go at it overtime, double overtime. I think we're going to see that a lot this year. If one of those teams can beat the other team on the away floor, that might decide the division championship. But the Freedom Division is going to be terrific this year, so check out those games. And we're going to move to the American. And speaking of the Freedom Division, Jefferson was housed in there for many years. They've jumped back and forth, Freedom, American. But Joe DeGennaro, 20 years. He's the dean of coaches up here for boys basketball, and no one does it better than Joe DeGennaro. 17-7 last year, and they returned a lot of good players. They graduated a couple nice players in Jared Schuster and Griffin Riley, but their best players are back from last year. Stephen Bremen, one of my old area picks, he's back. Joe Patelli, he's just a sophomore now, but came on and really contributed as a freshman. Connor Brown, tremendous athlete. So is Logan Hollritter, Brandon Magnata. Sean Perry gives him big size down low. You remember him from baseball, big first baseman, helped him win a section title. And Anthony Johnson. So he's got depth. Joe says he's got a lot of depth. And he also feels they're going to compete in the Morris County tournament this year as well. A couple of years back, remember they went 25-2. They lost in the semifinals to Morristown. But he likes this team. He thinks they're going to compete in the American. They're looking forward to that challenge. And it's going to be fun. They get to play Sparta twice a year, and it's going to matter towards the standings. The last few years they've played as independents. You know, it doesn't go towards a conference championship, but those two, it'll matter this year, and it'll be a lot of fun watching the Falcons play. Speaking of Sparta, Brian Brennan, 13th season. Again, it seems like he just started a few years ago, and Brian Brennan's been one of the best coaches around. Sparta the last couple of years have struggled after that great run with Zach Frick and Jake Melville, and then those kids like Austin Unglob and Kevin Foles and Mitch Cohen and Matt Chemis and the rest of that group. They beat Pope John a couple of years back, but since then they've struggled a little bit under Sparta's terms. Sparta always used to win in 20 games. I think this year they're going to improve on their 11-14 record. They got one of the top point guards coming back, Dante Jofield, who came in as a freshman last year and was just electric, was able to handle pressure, bring the ball up and shoot when he had to. Nick Lucas can shoot with the best of them. Jack Simon was an all-area player for me last year, great golfer too. Jack can light it up from the outside. Richie McDonald, tremendous athlete. We've seen him in football. Devin McIntyre, tremendous lacrosse player playing basketball, and he gives them some size down low. Terrell Smith, undersized, but he's gotten bigger. He's great hops down low. He's going to be a force. And then Thomas Ferrara is a legitimate big kid. If he played some this year football for Sparta, he's a big cap down low. So I think they're going to improve on 11-14, although they got a killer schedule. They open up at Randolph, one of the best teams around. In Morris County, one of the favorites maybe to win the Morris County Championship. And the second team that might be a favorite to win the Morris County Championship is Morristown. They get them the second game. So tough schedule playing those Morris County teams. And again, you might want to circle on the old calendar. January 3rd, they go to Mount Olive. They always have great games with Mount Olive. But you know what makes it special this year? That's right, Mike Tobin's first game against Sparta, the team he coached with for so many years. Mike was an outstanding player to pack on. So we wish Mike Tobin the best of luck at Mount Olive. Saw him over the summer. They had a lot of numbers. Mount Olive's going to be pretty darn good, as is Morris Hills. But the big dog in this group, it's the Pope John Lions. Excuse me, 5 straight Hunter Warren Sussex championships. Jason Hassan left. He went to coach West Philly Catholic down in Philadelphia. Vincent Johnson was his freshman coach a few years back. He left to go help out in the college level. Coached, I believe, it was Lyndhurst last year, but he's back and he's excited. And the big thing for them, they went 18-11 last year. When Jason Hassan left, these guys stayed. Sometimes in the non-public ranks, coach leaves, kids transfer. The core kids stayed, and Vincent's very pleased with them. They worked very hard over the summer. Aaron Clark, the best point guard up here, in my opinion, he's a tremendous player. Sambo Diallo, who just really developed into a great player. He can face the basket. He passes back to the basket. He can tack. He can shoot threes. Division I prospect, both of them. Ruben Montelis was the MVP of the HWS. He's back. His brother Ray was our player of the year. He's at pace. Then you got Andy Ward, who just gets better every year, and he's got something you can't coach. He's almost 7 foot. So he's going to be a difference maker on defense. And then Jack Kavanaugh. He really is. He battles some injuries, but he's a terrific young player. He's gotten bigger, and I'm looking for big things for him this year. Nothing's changed with Pope John. They have the same goal. They're going to play the best teams. They're going to go around the country. They're going to play. They open up with Blair Friday night. If you're watching Friday night, they're playing now. They got Roselle Catholic. They got St. Anthony, St. Benedict's, Our Savior of the New Church. And just a killer schedule. Last year, they beat Del Barton in the first round, lost to Seton Hall Prep. But Vincent Johnson is going to continue that same philosophy of trying to attract the best players to Pope John for academics and athletics and see what they can do from there. But boys basketball should be another great season, and with the teams moving around in the NJAC, I think it's going to be even more competitive.
And Sparta has played Pope John twice, right?
Yes, so does Jefferson.
Okay. All right, Dan, great job. He has the girls coming up here as we broadcast you from the world-famous Franklin Sussex Auto Mall, the only choice you need. And if you're a skier, Mountain Creek is now open. Let's take a commercial time out.